recording it. So, yeah. Okay, Francois Vix. How do you pronounce your last name?
Vix, just the way
Vix.
you did it.
Oh, okay.
It's short and sweet.
Yes, yes, yes. It's a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for, you know, giving me the opportunity to speak to you. You're very accomplished. You work with multiple cosmetic companies and all the way, almost what, 30 years in the business. Um, you've pioneered, I guess, I would say pioneered this new this hormone, right? It's really a hormone, right?
It's more like an enzyme. Yes,
Enzyme. Oh, okay, okay.
yes. The the bioavailability, the orally bioavailability of that enzyme. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay,
We were the
okay.
first one to develop it and make it available on the market,
So
and all natural product.
what I think your approach um to aesthetics and to cosmetics by approaching from the internal to the outside is um is a great approach because people have the concept that just lathering on external cosmetics is going to make a sustainable change to what's going on with them. But if your internal body is fighting against that, it's like pouring, sand uphill, So treating the body from the inside out gives you a better, in my opinion, would give you a better, more sustainable um result regarding your external appearance. Right, right. Is that your perspective?
Yes, no, you're absolutely right. And again, I think that cosmetics, skincare, sun care, all those products are extremely useful and definitely should be used and are part of your daily regimen. But they are not enough, and you can get better results by treating also internally your body and your skin and overall being. You know. And the demonstration is very simple because we are suffering from oxidative stress, sun rays. I'm sure you're familiar with that. And that is causing aging, it's causing a lot of skin diseases, but we're also aging internally. I'll give you just an example, and I'm sorry, maybe it's a little too much science, or if you if it becomes
Give it to us.
yes, yes. So, for example, and it's all related to your immune system. Okay, so when you're breathing oxygen, oxygen is the primary source of energy of your cells. So in this process, your cells are going to consume and burn oxygen, and that's from that oxygen that they derive their energy. However, in that process, there are 2 to 3% of those oxygen molecules that are not properly burnt. Very much like an engine, that will not probably burn all the gas that you put in. You have small particles that are very toxic. We call them reactive oxygen species, and they are the most toxic free radicals. I'm sure that most of your listeners have already know already about free radical from sun radiation, but most of them might not know about internal free radicals, and they are the most toxic, and especially those that are due to the consumption of oxygen. So what happens when your body is in contact with those free radicals? Free radicals are unstable molecules, so they are missing one electron, and they will try to recapture that electron on whatever structure they find in front of them. So we're talking about billions of free radicals. Okay, we're not in the few units. It's really billions per second. So it's a very massive process. So they will try to attract whatever electrons so that they can stabilize their structure. And by doing that, they are going to start puncturing your cell membranes. And one of the most precise and specific tests, if you want to measure your free radicals, is called lipid peroxidation. That's the damage done on the cell membranes by those free radicals. And once they have gone into those membranes and punctured those membranes, this membrane, they will start attacking nucleus. So by doing that, they do further damage to the nucleus and they do damage to your DNA. So if you have damaged DNA, well, your cells will not be able to duplicate themselves in an homothetic way. That would lead to cancer, possibly, or at least accelerated aging. And that's really the heart of it's today, it's the prevailing hypothesis for aging, which we call it inflammaging. Inflammation, free radicals, and aging. So thank God, all the living beings who consume oxygen have developed their own way to protect themselves against the toxicity of oxygen. And it's our internal internal antioxidants. And the most potent one is an enzyme called superoxide dismutase, for SOD. So our body will produce, and that's valid for humans, for animals, for plants. All those living organisms that consumes oxygen will protect themselves against that toxicity, and by producing actually a whole enzymatic pathway. So superoxide dismutase, and then glutathione, and then catalase. And those enzymes are going to detoxify those toxic free radicals into non-toxic molecules. However, as we age, our ability to produce those enzymes and have powerful internal antioxidants declines. So really, you are here at the heart of the aging process. It's your ability to protect your cells, your body against the toxicity of free radicals. And as a matter of fact, when two American scientists discovered SOD in that whole enzymatic pathway, Michael Fridovich and Joe McCord and Michael Fridovich, in 1968, they discovered the power of superoxide dismutase, and they really should have received the Nobel Prize of Medicine for that discovery, because what they clearly established is that if our body doesn't produce SOD, or a diminished level of SOD, we will have without SOD we can't live. With declining SOD levels, we will have very poor health. And to such an extent that it was established that all living organism that consumes oxygen, that's including bacteria, produced SOD, catalase, and all those enzymes. And the more they produce of those enzymes, the longer they live. So there is a direct relationship between your longevity and your ability to produce those enzymes. And to such an extent that when SOD was first discovered by those two scientists, it was called the enzyme of life, because there is a direct connection between, again, those enzymes and the aging process and your ability to live longer.
Amazing.
So this is a very long, I'm sorry, complex explanation, but
No,
it's
it's
critical
great.
to understand that relationship between your body, free radicals, and your ability to live longer and to live in good health. So now there are other sources of free radicals besides oxygen consumption, such as radiation, sun radiation. That's the second source of most important source of free radicals. And then you have many other sources, such as environmental factors, disease, drugs, anything that will generate inflammation, because there is a close relationship between inflammation and free radicals. Inflammation produces free radicals produce inflammation. And basically, what we try to do with our product is to break that cycle, to detoxify free radicals, to reduce inflammation. So that's the basis of what we do. We fight free radicals. And back to your question about skin, and sorry, I've been a long way, but it's skin. Skin is an organ that reflects your inner body, and particularly the quality and the health of your immune system. I don't know if you're aware of that, but most skin diseases are linked to your immune system. So if you talk about psoriasis, if you talk about atopic skin, pigmentation disorders, certain form of alopecia, all this is related to immune system, inflammation, and oxidative stress. So it's critical. And of course, the most benign disease, which is called aging, is also related to free radicals. I mean, sun radiation will do damage to your skin. If your if your immune system is not efficient enough, if it's not protective enough, it will cause melasma, it will cause pigmentation disorders. If your immune system is hyperactive, such as in the case of autoimmune diseases, it will cause vitiligo, and so on. So it's really so you have to treat, as you say, your body from inside if you want the best possible outcome. So that's the theory, and well, I'm proud to say that after almost 25 years in this business of internal antioxidants and trying to control free radicals from the inside. We have over 40 published scientific and clinical studies, by the way, available on our website, glisodin.org. And free radicals might affect many other organs besides the skin, but we've done a lot of work on the skin as well. And we have established, and it's almost in a perfect manner, and I'll be happy to share with you the most relevant studies to that effect, that if you combine topical products or devices, external devices, and internal products, such as the products that we manufacture, you can double the efficacy of external products. Let me be more specific. We've done studies for example, in the US, in Los Angeles, and everything that I'm saying to you is published. There's nothing that is not published. We have established that if you use retinoids, for example, which retinoids are creams that are commonly used to treat wrinkles, for example. Well, if you combine with internal products, you can actually double the efficacy against not only on wrinkles, but also on skin elasticity, on skin hydration, and so on. So, and photo protection, photo damage. You have a very strong synergy between internal products and external products when it comes to beauty and dermatology in general. So, and that's a fact, and we've done many other studies, demonstrating that. So it's back to your point. It's critical that you use internal products, and in combination with your external products to have the best outcome for beauty, quality of skin, and so on. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, and I appreciate you going into detail about these things because usually I interject and then I say something silly and I have to cut it out. So by you thoroughly explaining things, it reduces my editing
Yeah,
time and it saves me a lot of time. So I appreciate that. You know, from my own limited understanding, I've taken only a cursory look at what free radicals are. And one of the things that I feel like, excuse me for a second, introduces them a lot is a lot of these, let's say, some of our diet. Like for instance, what I was looking at is these omega-6 or these cooking oils and these fried foods that we eat. When these oils become rancid or they're heated to high temperature, um, it increases the probability of the oxidative stress when you consume these things, which increases your probability of getting these whatever conditions that affect your nucleus and increase your probability of cancer. You know, the resilience of your cells and your ability to repair is very important in killing those cells. Your body is fighting and killing cancer every single day, from my understanding. And
yeah.
it's and another thing that I like to think about is exercise, because through exercise you can destroy and encourage the body to rebuild. So internally is what really matters. And the thing I like about your internal approach, it kind of coincides with my recent thinking that um, we shouldn't feel too pressured to have beauty standards that conform with what external people dictate or expect our beauty standard to be. The ultimate, I think, the ultimate, um, I mean, sustainable joy is to accept yourself, love yourself, be your best self. And I think the best way you can do that is making sure your internal health is good, increasing your longevity, reducing your susceptibility to illness by, for example, reducing the likelihood of these free radicals attacking your cells with a product like yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with some external modifications, but what's inside is what matters. What's inside
Yeah.
here also, and how you feel about yourself, not just oxidative stress, but mental stress also,
I,
Um,
if I may, I'll give you a couple of points that go right to support what you just said. There is one of the most important study and survey in terms of nutrition is a survey conducted on American nurses. Ooh, and this study goes on for 30, 40 years. Okay.
mhm,
And these women will write down their diets, what they eat, their weight, and so on, and they report their disease and so on. So you have a massive data on this, and there is one absolutely um, uh, undisputed conclusion to this study, to this survey. It's that women who tend to do a lot of diets to lose weight tend to have shorter lifespan than women who don't do diet. Because diet is going to generate a lot of stress on your body. And stress, especially if it's repeated, is going to have consequences. So right back to what you said, it's better to be a little overweight, but happy with your condition, not mind too much about what other people are going to say. and and that's a fact. This is the only absolutely certain conclusion of this survey. It's just amazing.
right.
And back to what you said earlier also, which is I think it's very relevant. What you eat. Our body is not equipped to to absorb food that has been too transformed or which is not natural. Okay. So by the way, that's why we only use natural extract, botanical extract, marine extract, but they are all natural. We don't use any synthetic vitamins or anything like that. To me, that's a cardinal sin, because so our body will absorb natural product because that's how we've been conceived, and that hasn't changed. So whatever is not naturally absorbed is going to generate stress. It's going to generate stress on your stomach and your intestine, on your microbiota, and so on. As soon as you see stress, this is not good. Stress is not good for your body. The second thing, which is very harmful to your body, is products that are too refined. And especially you see all those new technologies like nanotechnologies, super. They can be very toxic because they can go through your intestines, cells, and do again a lot of damage because that's not the way your body is supposed to be used. So stick to the best, natural food, not too transformed, not too refined. Of course, if you can eat organic, it's even better because a lot of the diseases are linked to high level of pesticides. And yes, absolutely right. And one last comment about sport. I'm a great supporter of sport, of course. Today is a bank holiday in France because it's the Veterans Day. So and this morning I went to my club and worked out and all that. But obviously it depends on your age. But sports is great and you should do it regularly. But intense sport is not so great either because if you start hyperventilating too much for too long, you consume more oxygen than your body can actually recycle. And so that's, of course, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, compete, but just be aware that high intensity sport is also a stress.
Right. Right. Everything.
Regular sport is phenomenal in terms of enhancing your longevity, but intense sport that has its cost as well.
Yes. Can you tell me more about VSOD, um, and then also about the cosmetics?
Okay, so we have here in the US we sell mostly we have only 3 products. We don't believe in multiple long lines of products, and so our core technology is in one product called Glisodin, the antioxidant enzyme. Or the master enzyme, and that's our core technology. And basically it's a product that will be used can be used by dermatologists for their patients, obviously, as a support product to fight oxidative stress, to enhance photoprotection, to do a number of things that will make their procedures, improve the outcome for patients. So definitely we have a bit of a medical edge because in most countries around the world, we visit physicians, aesthetic doctors, dermatologists, plastic surgeons, and we present our products. So that antioxidant enzyme, Glisodin, is really a very powerful antioxidant, basically. But not only antioxidant, it will have also anti-inflammatory properties by consequence of being an antioxidant, and also it has immunomodulating properties. What is immunomodulating? It means that it can help modulate, regulate your immune system. And I'll give you an example. We have done quite a lot of work in the field of vitiligo. Vitiligo is a skin disease. It's an autoimmune disease, and it's the loss of pigmentation. It's a loss of pigmentation on your skin. And basically, it is due to an hyperactivity of your immune system, like all autoimmune diseases. So what happens is that our color cells or pigmentation cells called melanocytes will migrate from the derm to the epidermis. And that process, there will be damage by our, for people who suffer from vitiligo, by immune system that will see them as foreign, cells. And the immune system will damage the melanocytes. And by damaging the melanocytes, it will prevent them from sticking at the level of the epidermis and bringing that color to your skin, basically. That's, I mean, that's in an oversimplified, explanation, but it's pretty much what happens. So our product is not going to increase the production of melanocytes. That has to be done by natural sun or phototherapy or laser, some source of radiation that will stimulate the production of melanocytes. However, what the product will do, it will modulate the immune system reaction, meaning that there will be fewer melanocytes that will be damaged in their migration from the dermis to the epidermis. I don't know if I'm clear, but
Yeah.
so this is an explanation how your immune system actually can have an impact on your skin. So to such an extent that today this product called Glisodin, the antioxidant enzyme, is actually recognized as and listed in the international medical guidelines for the treatment of vitiligo. So it's recognized by world expert as a very good tool in combination with phototherapy, in combination with other therapeutic approaches to enhance the treatment of vitiligo. So that's the antioxidant enzyme. But as you can understand, if you have a skin condition with high level of oxidative stress, which is most skin, including aging, but or melasma, for example, melasma is the flip side of the coin. It's the same coin. It's the immune system, but in the case of vitiligo, you have an overexpression of the immune system. In the case of melasma, you have underexpression. That's why you have patches, dark spots and melasma, because your skin is not protected well enough, and your skin will burn. Basically, that's melasma. So again, what a product like Glisodin antioxidant will promote the protection, support the photoprotection but you still need to treat with external products, but it will enhance your natural photoprotection so that there are less melasma. So, and again, we don't have, for melasma, we have a very good study published in India on darker skin, which is very conclusive again, but in combination with what is called a Klingman trio, which are topical products, sunscreens, again, I'm never saying, you will never hear me saying that my products internally solve every problem, okay? It's very clear that it's always as a very effective adjunct to whatever your consumers, client, customers, patients are going to take.
Right.
So, and aging is, again, we talked about oxygen, we talked about radiation. You need protection. If you want to protect your skin, you need photoprotection, you need sunscreens, you need all those things, but as well as good support for immune system.
Right.
Because it's in combination.
Well, I got probably about 5 minutes left. So what I would like to hear is, how can people get your products here in the US? I see that you have, a lot of international reach. How can we get access to your products? Do we have to get a prescription or, you know,
No prescriptions because they are dietary supplements, nutraceuticals as we call them. So we have three products. There are two aesthetics, or one is called anti-aging, which is more for to reduce the red inflammation. It's great for any rejuvenation treatment. One is called skin brightening, which will be typically used by for any uh, pigmentation work like melasma or hyperpigmentation. And then you have the antioxidant enzyme that will be in support. You can find them, we're available in some clinics, dermatology clinics, but for sure you can find them on Amazon Prime. We have our own boutique there. And again, you will see for your listeners who are interested in science, more to go beyond what we just said, they can go on our website, Glisodin. So it's GLISODIN.org, and they will find all our studies. They will find, informative videos from around the world. As you said, we work and market our products in 50 countries around the world and mostly again with physicians because we feel that dermatologists are probably the physicians who can best understand what we are trying to do here. And we have a lot of clinical data and support that will help to convince them to use our products for their patients to have the best possible outcome.
Well, Francois, I thank you so much for the opportunity. I learned a lot. I'm gonna watch this video over again to be able to digest some of these things. We talk about free radical, we talk about mindset, we're talking about um accepting yourself, we talk about, internally um providing your body with the nutrients and the resources that are gonna keep you young internally. Biological age is something that people talk about a lot. It may not reflect someone externally and say, oh, you look so many years old, but the way how you feel and the way how you internally um age is more important than what someone outside thinks. um
Yes.
yeah, so it's so much. I could talk to you for another 5 hours, but um
Another
I
time, with
yes,
pleasure.
another time. It was really a pleasure. But wow, you have a great command of the language. It's like you grew up here almost. But
Well, I used to live in Los Angeles. When I was
oh, okay.
working for Johnson and Johnson and
Yes.
Neutrogena, I used to live in Los Angeles.
Okay, wonderful.
So that's my past. I had a corporate past before, starting my own business just like you. And
All right.
it's
Wonderful. Well, Francois, thank you so much again. And we'll be in communication.
my pleasure.